good morning. Well, at least it was here, as we arrive into the beautiful island of Mykonos in Greece. Now, this was an interesting port. It was a smaller place to visit, but that gave it a lot of charm. We pulled into one of the two cruise ports. There's one on the outskirts of the island and one right in the city. We were on the outskirts, so we did have to either get a shuttle from the cruise terminal into town, or as we did, we walked it. It took about 25 minutes to walk. I would only recommend the walk if you are agile, I guess, because it's a bit of a walk, and it's not got sidewalk or pavement areas, so you are walking along the road at certain points, so it is only for people who are okay with that. But as I said, we did the walk. As you can see here, very small sort of roads to walk along, but it is a very easy walk in regards to seeing where you're going and just walking straight there. One of the biggest sights to see in Mykonos is the island of Delos. This is an archaeological island which you can get ferries from the port to take you over to. As you can see, we use delostours.gr. You can buy tickets for them actually at the pickup point, so you don't have to do it in advance, although you can if you choose to. The ferry takes about 30 minutes and takes you from the island of Mykonos to the island of Delos. Delos is famous for being a very famous sacred place in ancient Greece. It was rumoured here that this was the birthplace of Apollo, the god. And so it's a very sacred place in the past. And the ruins there have been kept very intact. The reason for this is because it was sacred, so you couldn't mess with them. Once you arrive at Delos, you do have to buy tickets if you don't have them in advance to get into the archaeological site proper. These tickets are about €16, I believe, and you can get discounts if you are a student or under 25, something like that. As you can see as we're walking around, there are lots of buildings that show you exactly how this place was laid out in the old classical era. There are some sort of places where you can learn about the area and what each item is and what each building would have looked like. And they do sell guidebooks as well, so you can have a look in that, and there has a very detailed map. So today we're in Mykonos here in Greece. But as you can see, this is not the port, this is not the Greek island of Mykonos you may have seen on TV. This is Delos. Delos is a sacred island from Greek history. Here is the mythological birthplace of Apollo, and inhabitants were here from at least 300 BC, and we have proof of worship of Apollo from that time. Apollo has many different representations throughout time, and here on Delos he was represented as the god of life, light and music, and he used to do everything he could to protect this island from what he deemed as pollutive elements. For example, you were not permitted to be born here, you were not permitted to die here. Life and death are things that are considered to be unclean, so birth and death. People would leave the island and go to a neighbouring island to have their children, and when they were close to death they would die elsewhere. Very interesting, and something that I find quite fascinating. As you can see around the island, there are so many ruins here. There are statues, there is the portico, and lots of restoration work still being done as we are here. The cats love it, and so do the tourists. There are many groups here visiting the island. So at the moment, it is €12 to visit on your own for an adult. If you are under 25 and from the EU, you can get in for free. If you're not from the EU but in that age bracket, you can get in at half price. So really good if you want to just come on your own. And I really recommend this book by Dr. Fotini Zafiropoulou. It's a very interesting read. Tells you the history of the island, as well as giving you a really detailed map of the archaeological site so that you can see exactly where you're going. This is available very cheaply for about £6 or £7 on Amazon, so please do check that out. I'll put a link in the description below. It gives you lots of information before you come, so that when you do get here, you can sound like you know what you're talking about and you won't need to pay for an expensive tour guide. The tour guides here are €55 to come and give you the day thing. That includes your entry fee, so it's not too bad, and it does happen in multiple languages, and you can purchase these in advance, or you can actually purchase it in Mykonos in the old town. There are a few different ticket stops. We travelled with Delos tours, so we were able to get on the ferry. The ferry takes about 30 minutes from Mykonos to Delos, and it goes back after about 2.5 hours to take you back to Mykonos. There is a museum on site. Sadly, at the moment, it is closed for renovations, which is sad, but when you come, I'm sure it will be back up and running. I'm going to get some good footage of the island, and I hope that you enjoyed visiting today. If you're interested in history, there's lots to learn here, and there's lots of placards where you can read in English and in Greek all about what this place would have been like. And there's some really good artifacts which they show you as things that were found here during the excavations. Now, during the normal times, the museum here is open and you can go and actually see some of the artifacts that they found and get a really good look at them. However, when we visited, it was closed. It was being refurbished and everything was being moved around. Back in Mykonos town then, we decided to go and find somewhere to have some lunch, and we found recommended on TripAdvisor this place, Saki's Grill House. It's very good value, local sort of street food style, but very, very classical for the area. So we had a few little bits and pieces here. And of course, it wouldn't be a cruise video if I didn't show you what we had at the dining room that evening. As I said, Mykonos was a smaller day, a smaller port, less to see, but so recommended if you are interested in history and cultural places. Please do go to Delos, it's amazing. If you don't want to do it on your own, you can get excursions with the cruise ships, and that way you'll have a guide that will tell you all the information you need and answer your questions if you have them. For now though, enjoy the pictures of the food, don't get too hungry, and I'll hopefully see you on board. And as we sail away from Mykonos, don't forget to like and subscribe if you like the content. And there's a link to my Ko-fi in the description of this video if you want to donate a small donation of $3, £3 to buy me a coffee for all the hard work I put into these videos. If you don't want to, that's okay. Just tell your friends, share the videos, and get as many subscribers to watch this content as possible. It really does help, and it really makes what I do worthwhile.